Alright, so POCO is back with their all-new POCO M4 Pro 5G. Now, obviously, there's a 4G variant that has also been launched, and surprisingly, that has been launched at the same price tag. And while we'll get to that later on in our upcoming videos, today we'll be talking about the 5G variant. Now, this in this attractive yellow color definitely looks flashy, and for the specs that it offers, it definitely feels like a compelling package at its price point. But is it the phone to buy? Now that's what this video is all about. This is Varun from GTR and you're watching my in-depth review of the POCO M4 Pro 5G. Let's get started. Alright, so kicking things off, let's talk about the design here. And the biggest talking point here is definitely the large black blob basically around the camera module. Now the phone has a refreshing design and the finish of the phone also feels quite premium in hand. It has a slightly curved back, which although is plastic, but has a matte finish. And that rear finish feels mostly like glass. So at the end of the day, you get a durability of a plastic, but a finish of a matte glass that basically offers a premium finish, which also is not a fingerprint magnet. Now, of course, you do get a plastic frame as well, but that's fine, I guess. The black blob that I mentioned at the back houses the island-style camera module and the POCO logo design, and I think it's an interesting design language. And the yellow color option is very refreshing that we have here when compared to the usual lot of smartphones, and also makes it stand out from the crowd. The phone weighs around 180 grams, but overall the weight distribution of the phone is fine and you won't really find anything to complain about. In terms of connectivity, you get a 3.5 headphone jack and an IR blaster. And as for the SIM card slot, you get a hybrid SIM card slot, so you can either choose to install 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM plus 1 microSD card slot. The fingerprint scanner here is embedded inside the power button, and in my testing the performance was fine. Also, as the name suggests, this is a 5G phone and you get support for 7 5G bands. So yeah, overall in terms of design, I mean POCO claims this to be a design targeted towards the youth, the young audience that wants a flashy device. And honestly, I can really see them selling this. The color in itself is quite attractive. The design looks good. It feels good in hand. So yeah, I mean, as far as the design is concerned, I don't really have much to complain here. Alright, so next up, let's talk about the display. Now the display here is a 6.6-inch Full HD Plus IPS LCD panel with a 90Hz refresh rate and a faster 240Hz touch sampling rate. Now in terms of bezels, the bottom chin is a bit bigger than the rest of the sides, but honestly, it's not that much of an issue. Now for the price, the display here is a good one. Colors pop on this and most of the time the details are very sharp. And the color reproduction also is pretty good. Obviously, LCD panels are known for being color accurate and the one here is definitely not gonna disappoint you. You also get wideband L1 support, but there's no support for HDR content here, so there's that. Nonetheless, content consumption on the device is pretty good, and overall it gets enhanced by the fact that you have stereo speakers here, which can fill a quiet room very well when you're binging on your favorite TV shows or movies. Now in outdoor conditions, the display also has a peak brightness of 450 nits, which is decent enough as far as LCDs go. And that's the point. As far as LCDs go, this is a fine panel. I mean, it's almost as good as it gets for this price point. Of course, then again, at this price point, you also have the POCO M4 Pro 4G variant that comes with an AMOLED panel. Once again, that's a topic for another discussion. But right now, as far as this unit is concerned, well, it's fine for the price. Moving along, let's talk about the camera. Now on paper, you get 50MP primary sensor with an 8MP ultrawide sensor, and up front, you get a 16MP selfie sensor. None of those unnecessary lenses, so that's definitely good. But how do these two sensors actually work? Well, for daylight shots, the camera does perform quite good and you do get vibrant results. Color reproduction here is good for the most part, and good lighting, you get, well, about what you would expect. Now the details here are pretty good and the textures are also quite well highlighted. Even the HDR here is pretty good and the phone tries to balance them throughout. In low light shots, the phone performs well for its price. Now I'm not saying they are outstanding by any means, but then again, for a 15,000 phone, what all can you expect anyway? Of course, there is a little bit of noise here and there, but nonetheless, for the most part, the low light shots are also pretty good. In terms of selfies, the shots are sharp and have a good defocus. Now the edge detection is good as well. Lastly, talking about videos, the phone captures 1080p videos at 30 FPS and at good lighting conditions you get okay results, but once again, don't keep your expectations super high or anything. Now moving along, let's talk about the performance. You get the Dimensity 8105 5G processor coupled with 8 GB of RAM and UFS 2.2 storage. Now there's also the memory expansion feature where you can expand the RAM by up to 2 GBs. You can use it if you want to, but if you want my honest thoughts about it, we've already done a deep dive video about virtual RAM and how in some ways it is a scam. You can check it out by the card over here or the link down there. So yeah, make sure to watch that. Now, as far as the performance is concerned, the user experience is mostly great, and honestly, you won't really encounter any hiccups or lags here and there. In terms of CPU throttling, the CPU did throttle to 78% of its max performance in a 15-minute throttling test, but I mean, that's fine. As far as gaming performance is concerned, titles like Call of Duty and Asphalt run fine, and couple that with the 240Hz touch sampling rate, you get a very good performance overall. In Call of Duty, you can game at medium plus high frame rate settings, and the game runs very smoothly. Adding on to the performance part, one thing that I would like to highlight is that the phone comes with MIUI 12.5. It's a bummer that it does not come with MIUI 13, and what's a bigger bummer is that it does not come based on Android 12. This is still running Android 11, and I don't know, I just don't like the fact that we are even right now seeing phones being launched with Android 11. That just doesn't sit right with me. Lastly, there's a battery. Now you get a 5000 mAh battery with a 33-watt charger, and to be honest, if you're a light user who uses his phone for basic tasks, browsing the web and listening to music, and does not game that much, you can easily get up to 2 days of usage from this phone. However, if you're a heavy user, the phone will once again last you an entire day of heavy usage, so no complaints there either. And as far as the charging is concerned, well, the 33-watt charger on this thing can take the device from 0 to 100 in under 90 minutes, which once again is pretty good for the price. Speaking of the pricing, the POCO M4 Pro 5G starts at Rs 15,000, goes up to 17,000, and the highest variant retails for 19,000. Now, at that price point, the POCO M4 definitely checks a lot of boxes. Of course, there are certain things that I feel can be worked upon. The camera performance here is decent enough, but definitely could use some more work. I mean, there are devices like the Realme 9i that are priced lower than this and offer better camera output. And speaking of devices that are priced lower than this, you also have the Moto G31 that offers an AMOLED panel instead of the LCD one here. And of course, at that price point, the biggest competitor that the POCO device faces is from its sister, brother, some relative company, which is the Redmi Note 11. So yeah, I mean, is the POCO M4 Pro a good device? Absolutely. Is it the device to buy under Rs 15,000? Well, we have our comparison videos lined up, so make sure that you subscribe to our channel for whenever those videos go live. Also, comment down below which comparison video would you like to see first. Would it be the POCO M4 Pro versus the Redmi Note 11, or the POCO M4 Pro versus, well, the POCO M4 Pro 5G versus the POCO M4 Pro 4G? Let me know down there in the comments below. And well, that was it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Juan from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.